you maybe talk a little bit about capacity building and any of that might have played out as you've grown your business?
I can tell you about my very first order that I got with Georgia Power. And I won a bid for a product. And I was excited about that until I called the supplier to let him know that we had won this and I had not done business with him. And it was coming from overseas, and I had to pay for all of it before they would put it on the boat. And so, being naive, I guess it was naivete, I came back to Georgia Power and said, I need a deposit. And they said, sorry, that's not what we do. I mean, you need to have capacity, and you need to be able to deliver, and you need to be able to, and I remember it was flashlights. I mean, it's amazing how you can remember. My very first order was, I think, 5,000 flashlights. So now I'm in a bind because I can't give the guy all of this money for these 5,000 or 10,000 flashlights to put them on the water to send them, and Georgia Power is just, they didn't say, we've never done this before. They just said it's not our practice. So next thing I did, I went to the bank, and the bank said, yeah, we'll lend you the money. And I said, I understand these people pay on time, so I'll get the money back. I'll pay you back. Until the banker said something, I don't remember, something wild that they needed for collateral. And I'm like, not happening. So now I really don't know how I'm going to fulfill this bid. I really didn't know what I was going to do. So then I went to my husband and I said, I got to borrow this money because I got to send this to China. I mean, but the clock is ticking, especially if something's coming from China. I know that I've got X number of days for production, and then I've got 30 on the water. So the clock is ticking. So I went back to the supplier, and I just told him that this was a major utility, and I would be willing to sign a personal guarantee because I was not going to be embarrassed at Georgia Power. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'd be willing to sign a personal guarantee, and I'd be willing to give him part of it, and because I was new, and he said okay. And Georgia Power was never the wiser until today.
They say Daryll.
And I delivered on time, but I was nervous.
I have known Daryll for 10 years, and she is probably our most reliable supplier. We can always depend on her, even when this happens.
So it was. So I can remember my very first order, and it was about capacity. That I bid on something that I did think I had the ability to deliver, not knowing it was going to have to be manufactured. I never looked into the import piece. I never looked beyond the bid and my ability to deliver, but I did. But it was almost, I'm going to have to go back to them and say thank you, but no thank you, which I would have rather done and saved my name than to not deliver on time. So it was a little hairy for about 3 or 4 days, and you never knew that story.
I did not, no, I'll never.
Okay, well, you didn't hear. You can't repeat that again. And Glenda, you never heard that story. So you can't repeat that.